What's up guys, in today's video I will be explaining to you how you can unlock the 4K damage badge with Mirage in Season 9 of Apex Legends. As most of my loyal viewers know, I did a video with every legend on how to drop 4K damage with them, except the Mirage one never happened because I forgot to hit record when I did it. And then a bunch of you asked for me to do one with Mirage, so here we go. I will first be covering where to land and then get into specific tactics for Mirage, and then throughout the video I will be explaining my mindset for the decisions I made in order to have this 4K damage game. On the topic of where to land, I normally would tell you to land Capital City every time. However, this game, the train was right at the beginning of the flight path, and if you never got to play on World's Edge when the train was active, you can always assume it will be a hot drop. It is high risk and high reward because obviously the loot is very limited to what's in the bins on the train. So if you don't get a weapon, it's probably a GG. I was lucky enough to land on a purple armor and a couple weapons, and we were off to having a decent start. I was duo queuing trios with my friend, and this is my preferred way to drop these high damage games. Now, regardless of what legend you're trying to get a 4K damage on, it's crucial to get a strong start to the game. You need that early damage, so when you get into late game and there's only a few teams left, you at least have a base to get these high damage games. I would love to fight every team in the lobby, but it just never happens like that. This game was very interesting though because of how it developed. And if you watch until the end, you will really see how I was able to get a ton of damage off of only a couple teams. And that can be the key to getting a lot of 4K damage games these days. So when it comes to trying to get 4Ks with Mirage, you should have a decent understanding of Mirage's abilities and feel comfortable playing him. Mirage is a pretty straightforward legend, but you definitely need to know when and where to try to bamboozle your opponents. When attempting these types of games, abilities play a huge role, whether it's trying to stay alive or reposition, or it's windows of opportunities to outplay your opponents. Now, I don't main any one legend, I play them all, but I know very well how to bamboozle a lot of my opponents and when I need to use the Mirage decoys. If you're interested in a more in-depth guide with Mirage, I recently made one and I will link it in the info card above. So as you can see, I'm a little over 1K damage. There's only 5 other teams left, not including our team, and we have moved on to Fuel Depot. We have rotated from Thermal Station. I knew a team was here, and we started to engage with them. My teammate is going to get knocked in this fight, but I have to do some things in order to stay alive and reposition, and this is when bamboozling comes in handy. I was not super confident having a G7 scout with a 1x, especially for this kind of fight. If you have a scout, you kind of want to be set up a little bit further away so you're able to get that poke damage. But this was all I had, so this guy's going to swing on the left, and I get him to one shot with the EVA 8. And my teammate gets the knock. Get Horizon ultied here. So I'm like, all right, I've got to back up. I'm going to destroy the ultimate and reposition back to this house. If you get on the roof of the house, you can develop a good angle where you have a head glitch because it's an A-frame roof. And that was ultimately my goal here. I knew my random teammate wasn't going to be super helpful, but I needed him there and not to go down because it's a distraction when you're in a 1v3. It's better to be in a 2v3, obviously. I was able to revive my teammate Speeds, and then we're looking to take this fight. Now, as I said before, having a 1x G7 scout is not ideal, and so I'm playing to my advantage with my loadout. I have high ground, I have a decent angle, and I'm looking to kind of draw this fight out, unless I get a knock or one of my teammates does. And that's kind of how you should be playing going for a 4K, because it's not really about killing them. I mean, eventually it is. And you'll see here, we're running low on resources like heals and shields and stuff. So once I get a knock here in a second, then I'm going to go ape that so I can get their resources and then turn this fight into a 3v2. My other teammate gets a knock. So it's going to end up being a 3v1 here, but we get their loot. We got a good amount of damage. And then I'm going to clean up on this guy, the last guy who's low here. So after we wrapped up this fight, we had to rotate, and as you'll see, there are only 2 other teams left, and I'm not even at 2K damage yet. So I told my teammate, this is going to be a stretch. But depending on how it plays out, I told him, if we're already this close, like this far in the game with only a few teams left, let's just see what we can do with it. And we were getting aped right out of the zone because they got a knock on my teammate. So I was using this head glitch here. I was able to swap to an R301 back there. And this was a scary fight because honestly, my teammate did some good damage to that Pathfinder, which probably really tilted it into our favor. I took out the Revenant. I had to quickly armor swap, so I thirst him real quick, swap, and then we get pushed by the Watson, the third one. And my teammate and I are both kind of low, but it is a 2-on-1, and we are able to clutch this. So in that scenario, that is definitely not how I wanted that fight to play out. I mean, yeah, I wanted to win it, but I wanted to output a lot more damage. I wanted to draw it out, but that was really out of our control, and that's how things are going to go a lot of the times. And as you'll see here, I'm right under 2,300 damage, which means I need a little bit over 1,700 more damage to get this 4K badge. But stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to farm the last team. Before I cover how to farm the last team, I want to take a few seconds to talk about the join button on my channel. I never have talked about this in any video of mine, so if you would like to support me by becoming a member, you get a ton of perks like a Mango loyalty badge / emoji when you comment on videos or during live streams. You get exclusive access to a members channel in my Discord, and you get the ability to play Apex with me during membership days. There are a ton of other perks as well. It's only $4.99 a month, and it goes a long way to helping me be able to do this full time. All right, back to the video. So as you can see, I have a pretty good angle to farm this team for damage. I'm using the anvils on the R301. I have a ton of light ammo, so I'm trying to stretch this out as much as I possibly can. We did get the knock on the fuse, and the question came to be, do we try to let them res and rotate, or do we just try to wrap this game up? And I just said to my teammate, you know what? I'm almost at 3K. Let's just see what we could do. So we start to back off a little. I'm going to do a little bit more damage because there's 30 seconds and they still have to res and rotate. So we're going to transfer to lava fissure, let them do their thing. Hopefully they'll res and then come into the zone. I realize if I play on this roof still though, I could potentially hold them out, and I want these guys to live a bit longer. So I do a little bit damage, back up. I tell my random teammate, the Octane, to back up as well. He was probably really confused, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. Still farming this team. I end up getting a Kraber. My teammate was generous enough to drop that for me. And I'm going to get a knock on the Wraith here. Once again, gonna let them res. Not too worried about them coming back, being full health. I want to make sure they all have enough heals in order for me to pull this off. So if I eliminate one a little too early, I could compromise the 4K badge. So I make sure the Wraith is able to get revived. And then I just watch. I want to get another Kraber shot on one of these guys here. I'm working an angle. I hit the lifeline 145, and I take height again. Gonna let them res, fast forward a little. They're all gonna rotate. So I try to beam them while they do so. And then it comes to my attention that they're all trying to take the jump tower. I hit the fuse for like 115 or so. The Wraith is gonna phase up the zip, which is smart, but the lifeline is the last one, and I catch her slipping. Now I know the other two are rotating, so I'm telling my teammate over there, hey, be patient. I've got to thirst this lifeline. If I thirst the lifeline, I'm in like the 3,700 range, and then getting 300 off two people is very doable as long as he goes slow. Now we still got to rotate. They kind of have a better position than we do at this time. Our Octane did get knocked and thirsted, and I look to challenge the Wraith, but I get beamed by the fuse. So I heal here. I have no idea how the Wraith doesn't see me. I know she's distracted shooting my other teammate, but maybe she thought I was a decoy or something. I did get very lucky there. So I'm going to full heal while my teammate pops a bat. And he was able to knock the fuse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like 90 damage into fuse while he's knocked. Hopefully the Wraith will come out and peek, and then I can get the 4K. I didn't want the Wraith to peak early though if she was low, because she's the last one. I need to make sure I get at least that 100 plus damage to reach 4K. So the Wraith continues to challenge. She luckily still has armor, but I know her health is probably low. I crack her. I just need 5 more, so I thirst the fuse, and then I'm able to get the 4K damage on Mirage. And then I don't know if Wraith started to give up or what, but that's how you drop 4K damage on Mirage. If you guys like this video, slap a like on it. Catch you on the next one. Peace.